All right, let's just jump right in with a question. Have you ever felt like you're your own worst enemy? You know, that little voice in your head that just loves to pop up at the worst possible moment? Well, in this explainer, we're not just going to talk about that inner critic. Oh no, we're going to learn how to actually flip the script and turn it into your biggest fan. I mean, it's so common, right? Especially when you're trying to juggle everything. Deadlines, projects, and just, life. That internal pressure can be absolutely relentless. So if you've ever found yourself just dwelling on some tiny mistake or second-guessing everything you do, trust me, you are so not alone. Okay, so what if, and this is a big what if you could actually transform that nagging voice into your strongest supporter? We've dug into the research and pulled out some really powerful, practical steps that can help you do just that. We're talking about turning that negative feedback loop into, well, a real engine for your own growth and encouragement.
All right, so first things first. Before we can tackle this thing, we've got to understand what we're actually dealing with. So let's put a name to it and really see what it's all about.
So the experts call it negative self-talk. And I love this description. The uninvited cycle of self-criticism and doubt. Uninvited is the perfect word, isn't it? But here's what's really, really important about this. Notice how it's framed? It's not some personal flaw. It's a byproduct of juggling all the stuff we do. The deadlines, the work-life balance, all of it. So it's basically a totally normal response to stress, not a sign that you're weak.
So the big question is, how do we break that cycle? Well, the good news is there's a really powerful 3-step technique for it. I want you to think of this as your own personal mental reset button that you can hit anytime that inner critic starts getting a little too loud.
Okay, so the fancy term for this is cognitive restructuring. I know, it sounds a little academic, but the idea behind it is actually super simple and, honestly, pretty profound. It's all about actively intercepting those negative thoughts before they spiral. See, your brain is all about efficiency. It loves shortcuts. It creates these well-worn paths, right? And negative self-talk is just a path that's been walked over and over and over again until it's a deep groove. This whole process is about consciously choosing to walk a new path. And if you do it enough, that new positive path becomes the default. So you're not just ignoring the critic, you are literally rewriting its script.
And here's how you do it. It's just 3 steps. Step 1, become aware. You got to notice when it's happening. Maybe keep a little journal to spot the patterns. Does it happen when you're tired, stressed? That's key info. Step 2, challenge the thought. Like really challenge it. Ask it for proof. Is that thought actually 100% true? Or is it maybe just a little bit of an exaggeration that's being fueled by how you're feeling? And then step 3, and this is where the magic happens. You reframe it. And this is such a perfect example of that final step. Look at the difference. The old thought, I messed up that presentation. Where does that get you? Nowhere. It's a total dead end. It just makes you feel bad. But the new thought, I learned from that presentation and can improve next time. See? That opens up a door. It takes what felt like a failure and turns it into a stepping stone. You're actively, consciously shifting your perspective from defeat to growth. It's a total game changer.
Okay, so that 3-step reset, that's your main tool. It's what you'll use in the moment. But to make it really stick, you need to build up a more supportive environment inside your own head. It's time to stop focusing on the critic and start strengthening your inner ally.
Now this next question, this is a big one. Just stop and think about this for a second. Would you speak to a friend that way? I mean, really, when a friend or a colleague messes up, what do? You offer support, right? You give them perspective, you encourage them. So why is the standard we hold for ourselves so different? Why are we so much harsher?
And this quote just nails it. It's about treating yourself with that same kindness and understanding. And look, self-compassion isn't about making excuses or letting yourself off the hook. Not at all. It's about giving yourself the same grace, the same constructive support that you would automatically give to someone you care about. It's the difference between being a good coach and being a harsh critic.
So how do we do that? Here are a few really powerful strategies to build up that supportive inner world. First, actively practice self-compassion. So if you catch yourself thinking, that was so stupid, I want you to literally pause and rephrase it like you would for a friend. Something like, you know what, that was a really tough situation and you did the best you could. Second, surround yourself with positivity. This is huge. It means spending time with colleagues who lift you up and maybe a little less time with those who drain your energy. That positive vibe is totally contagious. And finally, mindfulness and meditation. Seriously, even just 5 minutes a day of focusing on your breath can create this little bit of space between you and your thoughts.
And in that space, that's where you get the power to choose which thoughts you're going to listen to.
Now, it's really important to remember that reshaping this inner dialogue, it's not a one-and-done kind of thing. The biggest insight from all the research is that this is an ongoing journey. Think of it like a skill, or even a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger and more automatic it becomes.
Do you know what one of the biggest triggers for that inner critic is? Perfectionism. It just feeds on it. So how do you fight back? By setting realistic goals. Take that huge, overwhelming project and just break it down into smaller, manageable steps. Why? Because every little step you complete is a win, and you have got to celebrate those small wins. Each one builds your momentum and gives you solid proof to show that inner critic that it's wrong. Just remember that mantra. It's all about progress, not perfection.
And one last really important point. It's so crucial to know when you might need some backup. Reaching out to a therapist or a coach, that is not a sign of failure. In fact, it's the total opposite. It's a sign of incredible strength. And it's one of the most proactive, powerful steps you can take for your own mental well-being.
So let's land on this, because this is really the core takeaway from all of this. I know it can feel like that critical voice is in the driver's seat, but it's not. It just isn't. You have the tools now, you have the awareness, and you absolutely have the power to reshape the entire conversation that's happening inside your own head.
So, I want to leave you with a little challenge, something you can do right now. What's just one kind thing you'll tell yourself today? It can be anything. Just start small and start now, because that's how you begin the journey of turning your inner critic into your greatest champion.